and the two companies were unjustly and maliciously prosecuted by the EFCC for committing offences unknown to the law and subjected them to criminal trial in relation to civil transaction. Let's take a short break, and when we return, it will be time to speak with our guest of the day, who is a chieftain of the All Progressives Congress APC, Phineas Elijah, popularly known as PP Elijah, for discussion on Adamawa politics. Please stay with us. We'll be right back.
It's not a regular show. It's an online interactive session where we share my views on the everyday issues that cut across politics, security, health, current affairs, governance, and so much more. I am passionate about our country. I choose to support any conversation geared towards building a better Nigeria. Babajide Kolade Otitoju. Join me every Saturday on TVC News YouTube channel as I discuss Nigeria and the world at large on the show Issues with Jide.
What is better than your view on weekdays? Your view on the weekend. Something special, something more. We have an extra dose of premium television experience. Your Saturday is about to get upgraded with more engagement, information, and special moments.
Let this be PG. English is a problem. Not see your parents finish. Yes. I don't know another English. And it's not by beating.
Join us from Saturday, the 15th of April, 2023 at 9 a.m. for the weekend edition of Your View. Join the intelligent, dynamic, inspiring, and fearless ladies of Your View as they have the difficult conversation,
the thuggery and intimidation,
breaking down barriers and defining the narrative. Save the date as we count down to the weekend edition of the most exciting talk show on Nigerian television.
The National Assembly is a busy place. As the bastion of democracy, it is a place where bills are presented, motions debated, laws made, and the yearnings of the people are laid bare. Come with us as we take you through the workings of the National Assembly. We take you through plenary, committee meetings, and probes, all to ensure smooth working of the democratic process.
Doubt and fear doesn't occur at the canvas, it shows in the canvas. It shows the conation of raw earthen material slabbed, stroked, and molded at a pace provided by the doubt and fear. Every move way in the struggle of one to the other, merging the past to the present, brushstrokes of colors seen but not known. For when the wailing stops, the pieces settle down in abject beauty, erected for a century of a century. Speaking, advocating, protesting as the arts are meant to be.
Every week, Green Angle, in partnership with Wild Aid, will bring you a documentary series on environmental issues affecting Nigeria's amazing biodiversity, from climate change, air pollution, and wildlife conservation. We will be traveling across Nigeria to give you on-the-ground report of the issues affecting our environment. It airs every Saturday at 4:30 p.m. only on TVC News.
Every major news story is with many perspectives and layered with different levels of impact.
Hello. What time did this happen? We will be right there.
At TVC News, we follow the big and major news, gathering the facts, witnessing the outcome.
I am here live at the aftermath of the approval of the new national minimum wage.
We are TV Station of the Year, not just for breaking news, but for being first, fair and accurate. TVC News, first with breaking news. Sometimes it's the story that calls. At other times, the people just want to be heard.
School, I need students, but I need teacher.
Can't continue like this.
Their voices re-echoing through time itself.
We haven't done anything. If the tide is high, everybody run for safety.
Their tears leave a sweet sour taste for all. Their demands, a familiar call beckoning for change. In our world, no one expects a disaster to happen. But when it does, we'll be there to x-ray all sides, from the east to the west, north and south. Community Forum will examine the oddities and challenges to economic development, as well as issues yearning for government intervention. Watch fresh episodes of Community Forum on Sundays by 9:30 p.m. only on TVC News.
British Empire.
Welcome back and thank you very much for staying with us. You're still watching Politics Tonight to dig in beyond the headlines. I am joined by a chieftain of the All Progressives Congress APC, Phineas Elisha, popularly known as PP Elisha, for discussion on Adamawa politics. He was the former chairman of the New Nigeria People's Party, NNPP, in Adamawa State. Thank you very much for joining us, sir.
Thank you for having me.
So let's begin with politics in Adamawa State. The governorship election outcome is still generating ripples. What's your view on what's transpired?
The governorship election has come and gone, though we are in court, and that you will see that the politics of Adamawa is almost evenly divided because the PDP, which has been declared winners, on saddle now, they have only 430,000 votes. The APC, the runners-up, they have about 396 based on the result that were declared. So you see that it's almost evenly, just a difference of about 30,000. The Labour came far back by 103,000 votes. So the politics of Adamawa is dynamic, and that we don't like to comment so much on that now because the matter is before the tribunal. And that it would be prejudicial to talk too much on that.
So INEC has decided to prosecute the state resident electoral commissioner who is at the center of this saga. What's your view on this?
Because we will not fault INEC for prosecuting the resident electoral commissioner for one thing. Those are relying on Section 149 of the Electoral Act, but he was not the resigning officer. Whatever his reasons, that's my personal view, not that of the party anyway. Whatever his reasons, there was no way you could change the rules of the game in the middle of the game. So since I've started collecting results from the 21 local government areas where there were reruns, he would have at least, explain his reason for taking that decision or wait until after all the results have been collected. I think that's the reason why INEC is taking him to court. Justice will be done, not only be done, but be seen to be done. I think that's the reason why they're taking him to court. I still say that it not be okay for the party at this stage to comment on that so much because the matter is before the court of law.
All right, so your party, the All Progressives Congress, lost its bid to unseat the PDP in the state. What factors will you blame for this?
Intra-party wrangling, because we have to accept this particular fact. In the past, I was in the politics when Rear Admiral Murtala Mayorako GCON was elected. We had stakeholders, and then we have contestants. And at that particular time, we had about 10 or 11 vying for the governorship. But since we had other major stakeholders, the layman, Professor Jibril Amin, the Professor, apart from Jibril Amin, we have, we have other elders. But this time around, we find that the major stakeholders are also the contenders because they are all governorship candidates. And since they are all governorship candidates, then there was a problem of trying to reconcile. Everybody was trying to pursue his own goals. So suboptimal goals led to the, inter-party issues within the party itself, and they could not reconcile that one. And we went to the polls in that manner. So also, the outcome of the party nominations also contributed. We did not have enough time to reconcile the warring factions, and so the party went to the polls divided. Despite that, the party was able to garner almost 400,000 votes. If those issues were not there, certainly the party would have made it. And two, there is this political issues in Adamawa which always play a role, but will not be the means of winning election. That is the religious sentiment and the tribal ethnicity, that is to say. The religious sentiment does not work this time around because the major contenders were all Muslims, except one or so. But the issue of ethnicity was what, and the gullible voters fell for it. And so they felt that, no, this time around it should be this or that. Also, the fallout of the harder farmers' crisis, especially in the Numan Federation, contributed to the poor performance of the party in that particular area. I think those are the things I can say for now.
So you also talked about division within the party. What would you say was responsible for this?
Well, pursuing suboptimal goals, because if the party had been strong enough at the center to take decisive action against any area member of the party, as contained in the constitution of the party, those issues wouldn't have been there. I think there is a gross, violation or neglect of, or not adhering to the constitution of the party itself. I think this has to be fully addressed. There is no way a member of the party, a senior stakeholder of the party, a member of the state executive of the party will come out openly on air and try to say that, look, this is not the candidate for the party. You have mentioned the opposition as the candidate of the party, and nothing was done by the central body of the party. I think this should be looked into. That contributed immensely to the poor performance of the party.
So, Mr. Lesha, when you say it has to be fully addressed, does this mean till now nothing has been done to address that particular issue?
For now, the same executive is still in place, and that we are fully aware that the National Working Committee has formed a committee that will reconcile the warring factions. Meetings were held, but I think these meetings are yet to yield any positive result. And since the elections are gone, we are now before a court of law, whatever the outcome is, that is left to the court. And the tenure of the current executive will expire, then there may be a need to really look into the structure of the party, not only at the state level, but from the ward to the local government and even to the national level. That is very necessary if we are to perform better in future.
All right. So, agreeably, the defeat of Aisha Dahiru Binani has national impact, as it was another missed opportunity to have a woman elected as governor. How do you feel about that lost chance?
Well, honestly, I feel a little sad about it because I've been with Distinguished Senator Aisha Binani from the House of Representatives. She performed very well. And also the Senate, I know how her voice was heard throughout that particular period, unlike other periods. I would say that maybe I'm not castigating the male senators, but maybe the female senators perform better. The same thing with Distinguished Senator Grace Jackson Bent when she was in the Senate. Binani actually performed well. And that as a woman, if she could go to the peak and even win nomination of the party, and even as a woman, despite the issue of the feeling of our own part of the country about women leading, in politics, she could still score APC, still make about 400,000 votes. I think that is very commendable. And well, if she has succeeded, I don't know. I will not say she has not succeeded. I will not say if she will succeed because it's a matter before court of law. But her performance stands her out as somebody who is credible, somebody who, had done her best. She has gone to the nomination point. The winning of the election will now remain that of the party, and therefore, all hands should have been on deck to make sure that she came out victorious. But we still remain, we won. We are waiting to see what the outcome of the court will be. But her efforts are commendable.
Right. So let me ask you this, Mr. Elisha, and I'm sure this is one question some Nigerians are asking. Is it that the Adamawa society is so conservative that it does not want to see a woman as governor?
No. You see, if you look at the politics of Adamawa State, if you say conservative as if, when you talk about leading, it's about one part of the faith that we have, either we're a Christian or a Muslim. And in Adamawa State, I would say, without any fear of any contradiction, that are almost evenly divided between the Muslims and the Christians. And that's the reason why, if you go down history lane, once you bring the issue of religion, there is no way you can make it to the executive office of the governor of the state. Reverend Wilson Sabia did it with, Bamanga Tukuri in 1979. He couldn't make it. Balatakai, I tried it with Atiku Abubakar, the former vice president and the presidential candidate of the PDP. He couldn't make it. Adamu Muazu led also tried it with Boni. He couldn't make it. The same thing, Engineer Marcus Gundiri and Rear Admiral Murtala Moyeronyak for GCON, and he could not make it. So if the religion is the main part that you are using in Adamawa politics, you are not going to make it. And therefore, Adamawa State is not conservative. No, it's just an imagination of other few politicians who would like to score very cheap goals by saying, look, a woman should not lead, a woman should not lead. I'm not a Muslim, I'm a Christian, so I don't want to go deep into that. But if Benazir Bhutto of Pakistan, Islamic Republic of Pakistan can lead, I don't know why Binani should not be in Adamawa, but but that is the picture being painted. I don't think that is not what Adamawa is.
All right, so still on this, many say the APC lost the state because Binani and Ribadu refused to work together. Do you agree?
Well, I think I will not narrow it to Binani and Ribadu because there are other contestants. There are other major stakeholders whose names are not mentioned. Malanu Ribadu is the National Security Advisor. He's somebody that I respect very much. I've been together with him from youth because I went to school in Yola. And I don't believe that he would like a retrogressive action being taken in politics to see Adamawa backward. He would have loved to govern Adamawa. He has been trying to be the governor for the past 2, 3, or 4 times. And therefore, we cannot reduce the problem of APC to only Binani and Malanu Ribadu. There are other stakeholders. If they have, woken up to their own responsibility, I believe this issue would have been solved after all. Both Malanu Ribadu and Banani, they are all Fulani, they are all Muslims, and they are all from Yola. I don't see any reason why there should be that major difference between them. It's only that the major stakeholders did not cooperate or did not put in their best to see that the party wins election. That's all.
All right. So let's talk about you, Mr. Elisha. You surprised our political pundits by joining the NNPP. So why did you opt for that party at the time you did?
Well, because of the charisma of the leader of the party, His Excellency, that is distinguished Senator Rabi Musa Ponkoso, PhD, his antecedents, first a civil servant for 17 years, second, a senator, third, he was the governor of Kano State 2 times. It's not everybody that goes to rule a state and go back again. It's not easy this in the country. And also the manifesto he put up, if you look, the opening stage is that you quoted John F. Kennedy, that don't ask for what your country can do for you, but ask for what you can do for your country. So I went through the manifesto. These are things that are deserving of the insecurity, the unemployment, the youthfulness, the agricultural development, the other factors. And that was the reason why I joined the party, because if the people of Adamawa would have listened to us, we felt it would have changed the situation. But unfortunately, I think we are hampered by funding, and that at the end of the day, we could not perform well in Adamawa State. But the ideas of that party something. It's a progressive party. I'm not. That's the reason why I'm not surprised that he is teaming up with Mr. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to see that we move this country forward. We have very, very good manifesto and very, very good intention and very, very excellent past performance. That was why I was in NNPP.
So, Mr. Elisha, you became the chairman of the NNPP in Adamawa State before you defected to APC. I mean, people were wondering what prompted your jumping ship in the middle of the 2023 elections.
No, but by the time I jumped the ship, as you call it, I looked at the handwriting was on the wall. If we could not perform, and that if at the end of the day, Adamawa could only give us 8,000 votes at the presidential level, I think the people of Adamawa State are not prepared for the NNPP for now. And so we feel that the best thing for us is to team up with the APC, where I belong, earlier on, so that we can see what we can do for the state. And that was why I was not the only person, the chairman, the deputy chairman, the vice chairman center, the vice chairman south, the secretary, the youth leader, 17 local government party chairmen. We all moved and joined forces with the APC to see that we bring about a desired change in the state. And we are still hoping for that. We'll wait for the outcome of the court.
So, to your own credit, analysts say your defection dealt a big blow to NNPP's aspiration in that state. So, were you bought, or your defection was born out of ideology?
And now it's born out of ideology. I was not bought. I was not given a single cover to move from NNPP to APC. I already stated my case. If at the presidential level, presidential election, we scored only 8,000. The handwriting is very clear. We could not make it. If Labour, that does not even campaign, we went around with my governorship candidate, His Excellency Saad MC Tahir. We taught all the 21 local government areas, and we preached the ideas of the party. We talk about the manifesto, what we intend to give to the people. At the end of the day, we were rewarded with 8,000 votes. So I saw the handwriting. I don't require a suit there to tell me that we could not make it. And therefore, nobody paid a single kobo. Even when we went for the election, we sought APC to give the members of the NNPP that defected to APC some funds so that we can go back to our own areas to see what we could do. Not a single kobo was given. So we did it on our own, based on ideology, based on what we think is good for Adamawa State. So that was the reason why we took that decision.
All right, so Mr. Elisha, as a grounded politician, you would agree that defection is a big problem in our politics. So would you support a law to guard against indiscriminate defection by politicians, and especially during the electoral season?
Well, I agree with that one. The Constitution took care of the members of the House of Assembly. It also took care of the National Assembly. But it failed to take care of the governors, the deputy governors, and even Mr. President. You can recall way back when the former president, Baba Obasanjo, his vice president, Atiku Abubakar Waziri Adamawa, defected from the ruling party that voted him in and went to the opposition party. He took him to court to see that he was removed. Unfortunately, he was citing the Constitution, and he ended up with Section C that says any other reason apart from incapacitation, apart from failure to perform, death, etc., or resigning. He said, see, any other reason. But the Supreme Court decided that the any other reason is to do with the other reason mentioned above, and that he has not affected people Abubakar, and therefore he remains. So that's a problem. So there is a need to review that one, so that it would affect not only the members of the legislature, but also the executive and even the main actors of the party, because you have a reason. If there is a need for defection, I don't think it should be defection. If you have the same manifesto, then there is a need for merger, but not moving from one party to the other. I tend to agree with you that there is a need for a law to take care of that. For now, only members of the legislature are affected.
All right. So some people say Adamawa is a PDP state, hence your defection was of no significance. How will you react to this?
I disagree. Adamawa State is an APC state, because you look at the major, it's only that I told you earlier in this interview There are sentiments. Unless you go over those sentiments, you find that, you know, you go to the, I said, sorry if I use the word gullible, you know, voters. When you go there and you sell to them the idea of, you know, ethnicity, then they buy it quickly. And then instead of going by their party, they will say, okay, look, why did Peter Obi got 103,000 votes in Adamawa? The Christian community felt he was the only Christian presidential candidate visible. And so they felt they should vote for him. And that was what happened. And Adamawa is a really dynamic state. If I go back to 1979, where, you know, ethnicity played a major role, then the governor, ethnic group, Mumuye, you have the deputy governor, Mzanyi, you have the SSG, Kwate, you have virtually most of them. The speaker, Paul Wampana, led also ethnic groups, except about two. Our president, His Royal Highness, the Lamido of Adamawa, Dr. Ali Mustafa, and also led Marafa Mutumbiu. They were the only two non-ethnic groups that participated in the GNPP, you know, government. But that was a different thing altogether. We are in a new nomenclature, a new system. Therefore, when you take that type of ethnicity to the people down there, and they agree with it, after voting, they have forgotten. So that's the reason why we need to enlighten them that ethnicity or religion no longer play any role in politics. But what have you been doing to the people? What are you now doing? What are we expecting from you? That's what should be very important. People are here. People that are going to serve the state. Those are people that we are looking for, not their religion and not their ethnicity. Therefore, to me, I continue to say it, APC, Adamawa State is an APC state, but because of our own errors, because of our own intra-party issues, we lost the election to PDP. Second time around, that is if the court upheld the election of the present governor. The same thing happened 4 years ago. We did not learn our lesson well, but I believe next time it cannot be repeated. Adamawa is an APC state. I stand to be corrected by anybody.
All right, let's take a break. Tonight we're discussing Adamawa politics, and with me tonight is the chieftain of the All Progressives Congress, APC, Phineas Elijah. This conversation continues after this break. Please stay with us. Welcome back to Politics Tonight. Digging beyond the headlines, I still have with me PP Elijah, Phineas Elijah, a chieftain of the All Progressives Congress, APC, and tonight we're discussing Adamawa politics. All right, Mr. Elijah, you were also a founding member of the PDP in Adamawa State, along with former Governor Murtala Nyako. How would you describe Adamawa politics without him?
Excellent, and I still feel that is doubtful if we are going to get such a government again, and that the issue of Adamawa, then the PDP, I was the state secretary for almost 6 years, you know, and there was, let me say, almost 70% adherence to the provisions of the Constitution, maybe because of the position of His Excellency Admiral Murtala Nyako, GCON. He gave the party free hand to operate. And myself, my chairman, and the other state executives, and also the local government party chairman, we played a major role, and that whatever decision is taken, consultation is made, we move down the ladder up to the world level to feel, you know, to get what their feelings are. And then the administration, you see, when he came on board, other contestants decided to, you know, after losing the nomination, they joined forces with him. I remember Brigadier General Buba Marwa, you know, brought his own team to him. I remember the present Secretary to State Government, Laji Awal Bamanga Tuku, you know, the son of Tafidang Adamawa. He also resigned and felt that he should not contest with His Excellency Admiral Murtala Nyako because he is like father to him. And therefore, they joined forces. They brought in their people. And graciously, The governor appointed the commissioners based on the recommendations of the people that they contested with. And that he came to the fire just like our president, Mr. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, he came prepared. His intention was to see that he reduced poverty in Adamawa and encourage youth on politics and government, and that he tried as much as possible to train the youth, to be gainfully employed in technical skills, etc. If this had been maintained, Adamawa would have been a different place altogether. And at that time, despite the lean resources that he had, they were judiciously used, and he created the special assistance program that saw to the employment of teeming youth, and that crime rate reduced. And that was the reason why during Murtala Moronyako's regime, we don't have any instances of Boko Haram insurgents in Adamawa then. No, because our youth were put to absolute use, So I would say that that was an era of politics that, was beneficial to the common man. And that was exactly what Murtala Moronyaku is. And if you go to the villages today, they will tell you in Hausa, Baza Sake Govati Kamana, Baba Memangorova. So they will not get any government like that of Baba Memangorova. So I will tell you that it was an excellent period politically.
Right. So, Mr. Elisha, the APC is at the tribunal, and now the man who declared your governorship candidate winner is facing prosecution. It appears the chances of winning the state is getting slimmer for your party. How do you feel about this?
Well, I will not. I was trying to abstain from commenting on that. It is one thing to prosecute the resident electoral commissioner, barrister for that matter, Ari, for what he has done. Is another to review the result of the election, be it beavers, whatever you call it, and see what it contains. Because the APC candidate and the party that took the matter to court, they had their reason for doing that. They were free because it was clearly stated in the Electoral Act that it's only the returning officer's decision that could be used, but it could be reviewed within 7 days by INEC if they saw reason for it, or it could be reviewed by a competent court of law, or a tribunal. That was what was given there. And the problem here is they are taking the resident electoral commissioner, I don't know because I'm not a lawyer, but to my own layman's knowledge, he was not the returning officer, and he did not indicate the fact that he was the returning officer. And therefore, INEC has a reason for taking him to court. INEC is an independent body, as enshrined in the Constitution Part Schedule. That is clearly stated. They have their functions, they have their rules and regulations. And so let us allow INEC to pursue its own course. But as far as APC is concerned, and as a stalwart of the APC, I will tell you, we will respect the outcome of the case in either the tribunal or if there is any need to go up to the Supreme Court, fine. But what is important is APC as a law-abiding party and APC as a ruling party at the national level will certainly respect the rule of law. And whatever the outcome is, the party will accept.
All right, I get that. But do you think this will affect the chances of your party in that state? And talking about future elections now.
No, because whatever the ills that have taken place in the last election will be corrected when the new executive, even if it were the same people that go in, but they will go in with a new spirit. And that certainly the mistake, as I listed earlier on, I know those issues will be taken into consideration. We will not have a situation where the main actors are also the main contestants, because we are all human beings, and that there is also self-interest, which is very unfortunate if it comes to play against the state interest. But it's normal of human being, even as a Christian, I've been told that I should love my neighbor as myself. So God knows that I have to love myself before I love my neighbor like myself. So is that the same thing? That we avoid those pitfalls in future, and therefore the chances of APC in Adamawa State are very, very bright. After all, you look at what is happening to the PDP at the national level and also the state level. Will they be there come 2027, that's question mark. So we are in place and we'll always be there and we are going to perform and inshallah we will claim that particular seat.
All right. So, I mean, evidently, the 2023 elections caused cracks in Adamawa politics. So I'd like you to expatiate on what is being done to unite the party at this time.
Now that, you see, they say this, physician killed thyself. We are lucky, Mr. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, Ashwaju, GCFR, has recognized the performance of our illustrious son, Malanu Ribadu, by making him the National Security Advisor. And therefore, charity begins at home. I know he's going to take all steps necessary, security-wise, to see that all is well in Adamawa. I'm not localizing his appointment, because if you talk about insurgency here, you talk about banditry in the northwest, you talk about military in the Niger Delta, you talk about Boko Haram in the northeast. There are so many places. You talk about Benue, you talk about what is happening in Jos, Plateau, etc., and Kaduna State. So he has a very big task. But what I'm trying to say is that certainly Adamawa will be paramount on his agenda. And two, if somebody is a veteran politician, as I told you, once, twice, thrice, had a go to the governorship of the state. And therefore, we have learned our lesson, because if we had not gotten engaged in inter-party issues, we would have won the governorship election at Adamawa State landslide. There's no doubt about that. Unfortunately, we were before a court of law. I don't know how it will come out, but in future, such a thing will not be repeated. And I believe the major contenders will come on the table, will all agree and see that the interest of the state becomes paramount, for everybody. Because if we don't, we'll continue to lose. And it is not nice to be out of government. If you are in government before and you are out of it, you feel the pain more than any other person else. It's better than not to be there than to be there and not to go back again.
All right. Governor Fintiri made a statement, and I would like you to react to that. He said the controversial conduct of the election has caused division in that state. Do you agree?
No, I will not agree, because the major people that are affected are my own people. I am whatever tribe, and the major segment that are affected by this is the Numan Federation, my own people, my own religion. And therefore, it's a matter of enlightenment and for them to understand, because the picture being painted as if, it is only the minorities who are going to govern the state. The appointment that I've made so far, I will tell you that that one is a misnomer, because the secretary to the state government is our D. Tuku, fully planning, and that we also have the chief of service from Dume, Goodbye Tribe is my brother, and that the other major appointments that even in the past and the present, has taken care of the entire state, and therefore what is being told the villager is not what is being done at the government house. So the Gire is housed by virtually everybody for the past time. You see, the chief of staff, the SAG Bashir, Sani Ribadu, and even the second in command to the press secretary of the governor, they are all they're mostly Fulanis, and I don't want to mention other names of people that play a very prominent role. But I tell you, if somebody tells you that religion is playing a lot of role in the governance of the state, tell him a lie. But during the politicking, they will bring it. They will go to churches. They will go to all other worship places and be preaching that one. And I am against it anyway, personally. So, because that's what is being practiced. So it is what you hear in the social media, in the television, radio, print media, that spread this type of information about Adamawa State. But when you come here, we share common values. There's nothing like that. So for somebody to say there is a division, no. But let me say this very clearly, that the farmer in the past, which is now contained, thanks, the government played a very major role, the army played a very major role, the senior stakeholders, the traditional rulers, everybody played his own role to see that the situation is under control. Those issues, if you tell me they affected the local person in the village, yes, because somebody will tell you in my village, no, we are not going to vote for a plan anymore because we are not going to our farms. We are not going to our farms. They'll say, it was this person who actually bring this thing down. No, it was a collective responsibility that brought the issue, under control.
So how will you assess the administration of Governor Fintiri?
Well, he's not the governor, and we don't speak very bad of the past ones who is occupying that exalted position. After all, he has been given the powers. He's an executive governor, and that he goes Section 193 of the Constitution. He, the deputy governor, and the commissioners are charged with the responsibility of formulating policies for the good governance of the state. Fine, and that we pray for him. Irrespective of the fact that the case is before a court of law, that is immaterial. The same thing at the federal level. Our president has been taken to court by the PDP and the Labour. That has not stopped him from performing excellently. Within the first 40 days, major political decisions were taken, and that because he came into this presidency prepared. He knew where he was coming from. He knows where he is now, and he has a vision for the future. And the same thing here. So far, he has appointed only, to my knowledge, the Secretary to State Government, probably to court excellent. He has also appointed my good brother, Dr. Amos Edgar, as the Chief of Staff. He has also appointed his own press secretary, the deputy, etc. He is yet to, I'm not aware, he is yet to nominate the commissioners, to help him in, sharpening the policies of the Adamawa state. So, what is good for the goose is good for the gizzard. If we press Mr. President for doing well at the national level, despite the court case, then we have to press His Excellency, Right Honorable Umar Fintiri for what he has done so far. And he's somebody who is known to me. We have been together at the PDP. I was there when he was the minority leader, ACN. He came back to PDP during the Baba Memangure era, and that we worked tirelessly to see that he became the majority leader, and later speaker, and then acting governor, and then governor. Is somebody who has actually performed on his own. He rose from nowhere without a godfather. He did his best to come to where he is today. And therefore, even this alone is enough for you to commend him, where he is. I have respect for him. That's the naked truth. But I'm not in the PDP, I'm in APC. And if he's that good, then why are we in APC looking for governorship? So you see that my hands are tied.
So what areas will you urge the governor to focus on to bring more developments to the state?
Well, agriculture is very, very important because especially after the removal of fuel subsidy, we need to encourage agricultural output. So that's the only thing that will sustain the state. Two, the insecurity, he should help in that what he's doing. Yes, with double effort on that particular. Three, there is a need to provide employment to our teeming youth in the state, either through agricultural extension services, because after the removal of the fuel subsidy, the black market has disappeared from the streets, and these youth used to get 2-3 naira, profit from that one, and then they become gainfully employed. They got something somewhere. Now that they are not earning a single kobo, and they don't, then petty crimes will increase, and therefore it will add to the social ills of the state. So I would suggest that the governor has done enough in the road network. Infrastructure. You should also improve the transportation system in the state, especially in city transportation. Apart from the interstate, transportation system, there is a need for him to do that so that it will alleviate the problems of the masses, moving from one part of the state to the other, or moving from one village to the other. The teeming youth should be taken into consideration, because if we do not address that, then we have a big problem. He has constructed enough roads. He has developed other issues. Now he needs to concentrate on human development. It's very, very important.
All right. So let's move on to other issues. The Tinubu presidency is about 36 days in office. How impressed are you with the president so far?
I'm very, very impressed. I said it before. Mr. President to my own reckoning, is the first president who made himself the president. So you start from Baba Obasanjo. He was put there by other people, and then you come to Yaradua, you were done by Obasanjo. And then when you come to Goodluck Jonathan, the same Obasanjo. And so when you move to even His Excellency Mr. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR played a major role in the nomination process in Lagos that brought Buhari to power. But in his own case, he came on board through sheer, hard work. You know, that are people that he made what they are. And he's somebody who has no state boundary. It doesn't matter. As a governor, you could appoint him from Adamawa to be a commissioner in Lagos. And that he met so many of them, and he put them into right places. Take example, the former minister, Fashola. He did very well. And the same thing. I don't know what actually went wrong with Ambode, but he also performed well in Lagos. And most of the people that work under Mr. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu did very well. And that being the case, and also considering his business background, professional background as an accountant. So in accounting, when you give them, when you put a budget, you monitor the budget. When you monitor the budget, if there are any deviation, you correct them and you move on. And so he came prepared. He knows what he wants to do. He knows who and who should be on board to assist him in doing what he's doing. Now when you get people like that, and you don't have a godfather who is somewhere pulling the strings on what should be done. I'm not saying that all the other presidents have other people pulling strings, but they listen to those particular advice. The same thing, Gawan was not corrupt, but the commissioner under him was corrupt. So the same thing, Buhari was not corrupt.
All right.
Unfortunately, the people serving under him were corrupt, so to speak. That is a personal opinion anyway. But I am impressed with Mr. President. Performance so far within just 40 days is something to write home about.
Fantastic. So, Mr. Elisha, before I let you go, the cabinet members of the president are being expected. What are your expectations about the composition of his cabinet?
Well, as they used to say, they say, okay, appoint technocrats or don't appoint politicians. I tend to wonder, are politicians, are there no technocrats in politics? Because in these days, most of the people that have joined politics are people that have been in government service before. And when they retire, what do? The next place is you join politics. Just like a governor finishing the governorship and would like to go to the Senate. Most of those things. So he should appoint qualified people who can perform. He has done it before. He has not made any mistake. Where he made one, hastily, he rectified it. I don't want to mention names. So he knows who and who to appoint. And I believe that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, requires any advice from some of us as to who to appoint. He knows who to appoint. But I believe there is a need to have the technocrats, there is need to have the politicians, because the politician will now reach out to the community. Because if you get somebody from London, he's used to London, he doesn't know what is happening here. So there's a mix of the blend of the two will make a perfect match.
Thank you very much, Mr. Elisha. It's been a very interesting conversation with you tonight. I've been speaking with the chieftain of the All Progressives Congress, APC, Phineas Elisha, popularly known as PP Elisha, tonight to discuss Adamawa politics. Thank you very much for coming on Politics Tonight. Thank you.
It is my pleasure. Thank you very much for honoring me.
Thank you very much for watching. That marks the end of today's episode of Politics Tonight. But the conversation continues from here. Get in touch with us on Twitter at TVC News NG and at Olajumoke OO. Use on the hashtag Politics Tonight. We're also on YouTube at youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. Join us for the repeat episode at midnight and on Monday for another edition of Politics Tonight. Taken beyond the headlines. I am Olajumoke Olatiji. Goodbye.
It's the Premier League all on DSTV. All the goals, all the clashes, all the moments. moments. All of Rashford, Salah, and Saka. Their start is all in the language of your choice. All in HD. Available on all these bouquets to choose from. To watch on all these devices. Stay connected for all the action. Get DSTV with an HD decoder. Plus dish plus 1 month confirmed for 18,500 naira. It's the Premier League. All on DSTV.
I am always thinking about your well-being, so when I learned that 7 out of 10 children in Nigeria are iron deficient and this slows their growth, affects learning, and can cause anemia, I got worried.
Mom is right. 1 sachet of Cerelac Junior with Iron Plus a day provides 50% of your child's daily iron need to support proper growth and learning.
That's reassuring.
Cerelac Junior with Iron Plus. It's all good, Mom.
The following is a paid presentation by ShopX TV.
Do you spend the night trying to get comfortable? Your knees rub bone on bone. Your back and hips ache. You wake up in pain? Not anymore. ShopX TV is proud to introduce the Contour Legacy Pillow, the patented, ergonomically designed tapered leg pillow that naturally fits the contours of your legs, knees, and thighs to help align your spine and alleviate pain. Watch, when you sleep on your side, your leg falls forward, twisting your pelvis and lower back, putting pressure on your spine, hip, and sciatic. But the Contour Legacy Pillow cushions your knees and cradles your legs, relieving stress on joints while restoring your lower back alignment. Sleeping on your side, your leg comes over and puts you out of alignment, causing lower back pain, hip pain, even knee pain. By using the Contour Legacy Pillow, it restores the natural alignment of the spine, helping to alleviate pain and pressure, leading to much more restful sleep. Old-fashioned leg pillows are bulky, but the anatomical design of the Legacy Pillow fits perfectly the shape of your body the way nature intended. You can even use 2 together for full leg alignment. Legacy Pillow is exclusively ventilated, so it always stays cool and dry. With top crescent design, it cuddles up to you perfectly and easily moves with you. Ordinary pillows go flat, but the Legacy Pillow is made up of soft memory foam, so it never loses its shape and the cover is machine washable. The Contour Legacy Pillow is now available in Nigeria, exclusively from ShopX TV. You could be paying up to 500,000 naira for an orthopedic bed that doesn't properly support your spine. But call the number on your screen now and get 2 Legacy leg pillows for just 69,900 naira and get relief from back and hip issues. But wait! If you call now, we'll upgrade you to the Contour Better Sleep Collection. The collection comes with 2 Contour Legacy leg pillows and 2 Contour Cool Gel head pillows at no extra charge. The Contour Cool Gel head pillow's soothing orthopedic support will cradle your head